this is a video for Alex. If you're not Alex, you're still welcome to watch. But I sent Alex off yesterday with some yarn, a few crochet hooks, some stitch markers, a measuring tape, some scissors, and what is going on with this focusing? Okay. And her question was, well, how do I actually start crocheting? So what I said I'd do is I'd put up a few basic videos on how to start. Now the first thing you will need to work out is how you're going to hold it all. And the first few times are going to feel totally alien. You're either going to hold on to the yarn in a death grip or too loose, but you will work it out along the way. But I think the first thing we need to do is start off with a basic chain. So crochet hook, some yarn, and I'm going to ask you to get out the stitch markers. The one thing that really got me when I started was I thought I can count. I don't need stitch markers. I know where the beginning of a row is. I didn't, and I ended up with very wavy and weird looking pieces and some very out of it stitch counts. Anyway, let's start with a slip knot. I wrap it round, pull through, and there's a stitch knot. Slip knot, sorry. And you can do yours however you want. So then you've got, don't pull that too tight, you've got a tail and you've got the working yarn. And everybody holds this differently. I loop it round. Now I've got to think about it. I can't think how I do it. I loop it round and hold it like that. And sometimes I just hold it. It depends how my hands are that day. But we need to keep this tail out the way. And what we do is literally place the yarn over our hook and pull it through. And that gives you one chain. This knot at the end counts as nothing. So again, around the hook and pull up through. Round the hook and pull up through. And as you do this, you'll start to see these stitches forming, which you can identify each stitch by a V shape. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we've got 10 of these V's. But what we're going to do is we're going to put one more in to make 11. Because when we go to start our first row, we're actually going to skip that first chain to make up for the height of the stitch. It should make sense in the end. And just for this one, so we're not going to work in the first one. The one on the hook counts as nothing. We're going to go into the second chain and focus, 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 and go through the V, pull through, hook the yarn, pull through, and you'll have two loops on your hook. Now this single crochet is an American term, and you'll get UK and American terms. I tend to work with the American terms, but can go between the two, so if you get confused, just ask me. In the UK terms, it would be a double crochet, but this is what I know as single crochet. So when you've got two 2 loops on that hook, you'll wrap it round your hook, the yarn around your hook again, and you'll pull through. And that is your first stitch. And what I would suggest here is when you've got that first V, is to pick up a stitch marker, open it, and put through that V, marking your first stitch of the row. So we'll do this again. Through a V, yarn around the hook, pull that through, yarn around, giving you 2 loops, pull the yarn around again and pull through. So now I've got 2 stitches in the middle of the V, wrap your yarn round and pull through, 2 loops, yarn round and pull through again. Now if by this point you haven't pulled your hair out, had to pull it all out and shout, you're doing way better than I ever did at the beginning. So 3, on to the next one, through, round, and through. You still see where the V's are, so you work out your stitches. So through the next V, wrap the yarn around, pull it through, yarn around again, and pull it through the 2 loops. This is where you want to hope that you haven't done the first chains too tightly, otherwise it might become a bit impossible. And there's nothing wrong with ripping it all out and starting again, because we all do it to start off with. Just take it slowly and breathe. Remember, nobody's perfect first time. Carry on going. How many have we got left? 1, 2, 3. It's pretty hard doing this through a viewfinder, but we're getting there. 9, 10, and that is our first row. And if we turn it over to the top, we should be able to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 V's. Now we're going to do 1 chain, and this is known as a turning chain, and it gives the height of a stitch ready to prepare for the next row. So we've done that, and then return our work. So we're working from the other side. But now instead of going through just one part, we're now on the actual stitches, not chain. We need to put our hook through underneath until we have both sides of that V, come on focus, on the hook. And then we wrap our yarn around, pull it through. We've got our 2 loops on our hook, wrap it around again and pull it through. And like I said at the start of the row, we're going to mark our first stitch, not the turning chains, our first actual stitch. So that will identify the end one, because sometimes we go further and we think that the turning chain is a stitch, and it's not. In most cases, the turning chain won't count for anything unless the pattern tells you. So in under both sides of the V, yarn around the hook, pull through, yarn over around the hook again and pull through the 2. In through under both V's, sides of the V, wrap our yarn round and pull through, yarn over, pull through. And just like the row before, we're doing the same thing, apart from the hooks are going under both sides of the V. We carry on. I hope this auto-focusing is not putting you off too much and you can still work out what's going on. And so now we've done 9 out of our 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And our last one is marked with a stitch marker. So we know that that's where we work our last one. Oops, it's the other side of that V. And that's what will give us the neat edges. Is knowing where the start and ends of our row are. So chain 1 for turning, turn, and work back the other way, same as we've done already. So under the first V, yarn through, and there we go. Mark your first stitch. And basically you go backwards and forwards like this, putting your hook under both sides of the V, catching the yarn, pulling it through, wrapping the yarn, catching through and pulling through again. And this is stitch number 1 in what we're learning, this single crochet, which I know you were interested in doing amigurumi and making little figures, and this is the main stitch in that. So once you've got this down, you're well on your way to making your baby Yoda or whatever it is you want to make. Now I'd also like to point out that there's only one loaf stitch, so to speak. So if you want to stop, you could put a stitch marker for safety when you put these things down so it can't be pulled out. You might need another stitch marker for that. I also like to point out, if it looks wonky or it looks wrong or it's just gone wrong, you can forget and start all over again. So was that clear enough, or do you have questions? Let's see how it goes. Hopefully that's cleared up. How to start. So practice on that and let me know how you get on. Anyway, that's it for today. Bye for now.